Yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, sports fans! Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the past week's top stories. I am your host, Eric. Main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
A little hectic in the studio here today, but I'm raring to go. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
A lot. How exciting is it right now to be a sports fan? Major League Baseball season, right? A couple weeks in here. Now you got NBA and NHL playoffs, so we'll be talking a lot about that today. So if you are joining us live, please join the chat. Let us know if you have a topic you want to cover. If you have an opinion about what we're talking about, we'd love to hear from you. As well as we want to thank all those that help support us. 990 WBOB in Providence, Rhode Island, as well as 99.1 WDJY in Dallas, Georgia. We appreciate you putting us on every Saturday, and SEC TV, Public Access Channel 12 in Southeast Connecticut. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it as well. Ron, it is going to be a fun show. I am looking forward to this. You are a hockey guru. So we're going to start off tonight's leadoff story with the NHL and the NHL playoffs that are kicking off this weekend. Let's break down the big dogs in the house. Let's go, Kenny. So let's break down some of the key matchups, must-watch surprise teams. So how we'll do this, Ron, I'll kind of go through the Eastern Conference matchups, and as we're going through, maybe some of your insight onto what you're feeling about the series and what people should look for. So we'll start in that Eastern Conference with the number 1 Toronto Maple Leafs versus the number 4 Ottawa Senators. Battle of Ontario.
It's going to be a great series, let me tell you. First of all, it gives, Linus Ullmark a chance to redeem himself, right? In this year for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think Toronto is a much improved team. I mean, they had some offensive talent last season. Did not work out very well, right? But they added Ullmark and they added a bunch of other pieces. They're gonna be a handful for Toronto.
Yeah, listen, Toronto always has that jinx with Boston. Couldn't get by the Bruins.
Yeah.
Bruins are not in it, right? Here's a really good opportunity. We talked about it recently. Austin Matthews, to be considered one of the greats, like he needs to at least get to the cup now, start to show. And that's a very deep team as well, Toronto. So it's going to be interesting to see if they choke again.
War, that series.
Yeah, right? And then I didn't even realize Battle of Ontario, like those two cities don't like each other. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. Another interesting one in the East, Ron, is the number 2 Tampa Bay Lightning versus the number 3 Florida Panthers. 3 out of the past 4 years, these two teams have faced in the postseason. Again, we're looking at the Panthers repeat possibility, but the Lightning and their experience and have been there and obviously won 3 straight cups.
It's another great series.
So, yeah, your thoughts on that series?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to look, what Florida is going to do is going to try to intimidate, right? That's what they do. They have a lot of guys that have, that kind of an attitude. And then when you add Marchand to that mix, he's going to feel like right at home with all the other rats, right? So be looking.
Do they still throw the rats on the ice? So that's kind of funny.
So be looking for Florida to just kind of try to bully their way through this series. So you gotta see how Tampa Bay is gonna respond to this? Are they going to fall into that and take themselves out of their game, or are they going to play their game? And I got to say, Cooper's a great coach. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to fall for it. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to fall for it.
Yeah, he's been there, right? The experience. That's what I say could be a factor in this one. Very early matchup where these two teams obviously have some cup potential.
Yeah.
Next matchup, the number 1 Washington Capitals versus the number 4 Montreal Canadiens. So obviously the Canadiens are a very surprising team. One bottom feeders last season, and have turned it around enough to get to the postseason. This is my biggest question here, Ron. The OV chase to pass Gretzky. What's he at? 897 now, I think.
Yeah.
So 897. But you think about how much of a spotlight was put on Washington. Does this affect their possibility here in the postseason that maybe they look past Montreal and it could cost them?
I actually think it's quite the opposite. I think now that is behind them, I think they're going to play some better hockey. And I think this is going to be a very lopsided series, unfortunately. I don't think Montreal is going to be able to keep up with what Washington can do. They can score, they can put pressure on. They have some really tough forwards that can get in and grind away at your defense. And I think it's just going to wear Montreal down rather quickly. And I don't want to say I like Montreal.
What?
But I
Holy
like
cow.
some of the talent that they actually have. Yeah, the soft decider run is like
I
really
guess so
coming out
tonight.
today. I'm afraid now. But they do have some talented players. It's just not enough. It's just not enough.
Yeah. Number 2 Carolina Hurricanes versus the number 3 New Jersey Devils. Again, another good series, tough series. Both of these teams. Is it time for the Hurricanes finally to get back to the cup? Like they've had some talent the last few years and seem to stumble. Could this be a run this season?
Well, they have the same problem that the Rangers and the Bruins were having in the postseason. They get to that one team that they couldn't get by because they kept getting bullied. And this is what Florida does very well. They are very aggressive, and that could be the ultimate demise of Carolina again this season. I think New Jersey's going to be a tough series. They did lose Jack Hughes, and that is going to hurt. That's their top guy.
Yeah.
When you lose your best player, it's really hard to overcome that. And in the playoffs, it's really going to matter even more. And I think Carolina, because they're so experienced and their lineup is just top notch from top to bottom. Yes, it doesn't have, that ultimate scorer, but they work very well together. They are very good in their own end. And I think Carolina is just going to take care of business. Probably 5 or 6 games, to be honest with you.
All right. Let's move on to the Western Conference, Ron. The number 1 Winnipeg Jets versus the number 4 St. Louis Blues. The President's Trophy jinx again comes in. Last team to win it, 2012 Chicago Blackhawks. No team has even made it to the Stanley Cup Finals since 2013.
Isn't that crazy?
11 years now. Will it be 12?
Craziness. And you're already talking about a team that just can't seem to get it done in the playoffs.
Yes. Yeah, another factor, right?
I mean, you look on paper, Winnipeg should blow the doors off of St. Louis. But it's not going to be like that. Because
a friend of yours is in St. Louis too, right? And it kind of did a pretty good job of coaching.
Yes,
to get them into the postseason. So, Jim Montgomery, again, he has an opportunity to again, some egg on Boston's face when you you see that he got a team to the postseason.
Could you
again.
imagine if it happens a second time in a row?
Yeah, right after Vegas, right?
That would be really bad. That would be really bad.
Yes.
We'll just put it this way. If St. Louis, for some reason, makes it to the Stanley Cup, Bruins are cleaning house. You know that, right?
It should. It should happen. All right. Here's a matchup that honestly some people were complaining about, Ron, because of the way the NHL does their postseason, and it's not based like 1 through 8 with the records.
Yeah, I
the
like
number
1
2
through 8.
Dallas Stars versus the number 3 Colorado Avalanche, which should be a Western Conference Finals matchup, honestly.
Yeah.
So one of these teams is going to be
That's
out.
not the way it is.
Yeah. Right. So thinking about they're playing each other early. They both bulked up with trades to try to make a run.
Yeah.
What are we looking for in this series, Ron?
This is going to be the one to watch right here. This is the one to watch because you have, first of all, you have Mikko Rantanen, who started off on Colorado, traded to Carolina, and then Carolina traded him to Dallas. So just that factor alone is going to be crazy. And you add all these other pieces that move to these teams, you're in for a hell of a series. And it could come down to one thing: goaltending.
I like Ottinger in that matchup then if you're going to go with
I do
goaltending.
I do too.
It's just
this is a tough one though.
This is a shame that we have to get this so early because again I think this could have possibly been a Western Conference
this would have been a great
matchup.
one for the conference finals. Would have been a great series.
All
but
right. So what
we have them in the first round.
Yeah, we do. So enjoy it. Must watch. Next matchup, number 1 Vegas Golden Knights at the number 4 Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, this is pretty good, right? Because I mean, you're looking at a team that their goaltender is ready to ride off into the sunset. You know, Minnesota with Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, he might not be the starter, but you don't think he's going to be vocal on that bench? And you don't think those players are going to want to play for him? They want to reward that goaltender with a Stanley Cup. And they have a lot of talent on this team. So they are not, dogs in this series. Vegas has all, the lights shining on them. I mean, we know what they can do. It's a great team. But don't count Minnesota out.
Okay.
Kirill the Thrill.
Yes, sir. Number 2, Los Angeles Kings versus the number 3 Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers have knocked out the Kings the last 3 seasons in a row. So will it be 4, Ron?
This is a tough one though, because looking at the injuries for Edmonton, that could be a big key in this. How healthy is Draisaitl and McDavid? They also have out Zach Hyman, who's been day-to-day. Ekholm has been out. Frederick is out. Klingberg has a lower body injury. You know how the NHL does it with their
Hey, I love it. It's upper or lower. I mean, what about middle? They should do like middle of body sometimes. Just
Patrick. Not Patrick Kane. Evander Kane is out with a knee injury. Regular is out. So they got a lot of injuries. So their depth is going to be challenged. Even if Draisaitl is completely healthy in there. I know McDavid just came back from injury. So, but you're talking about a very brittle team. They might not be able to withstand LA.
Yeah.
They might not be able to.
But do you just said it, right? And it seems more prevalent in the NHL where there's a team that just
That has your
teams
number.
cannot, right? You cannot get past.
Has your number.
And LA somehow cannot get past the Edmonton Oilers. So I get the injury bug and everything that you're saying, but it's going to be interesting
With
to
all
see
of
if they
that,
can do it. Yeah.
You know, and I believe, is it at LA?
Yeah, it starts in LA.
Yeah.
They're the highest seed.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything points LA should be able to win this series.
Mm-hmm.
But we know, through history, it's always like that. It's always like that.
Yeah, you are correct, sir. So before we move on, player to watch, Ron. Give us one. If there's a player we should be watching.
Look, I hate to say this, Brad Marchand.
I was thinking the same thing, right? Florida was that the piece that helps?
You look at what he's about to do. You know, he's going into another playoffs. He doesn't know what his future lies. Brad Marchand always comes up with big goals. Always comes up with big goals. And I don't doubt that he's going to have a massive first series.
All right.
If it goes into overtime, put him as the name that wins the game.
And which team, if there is a team, Ron, that we don't expect to be there that could be that surprise team?
I think the team that it looks to be obvious, I think, is St. Louis, because they get Winnipeg, who just has an awful time in the playoffs, and you know that shouldn't even be close. But the Jinx, they can't get it done in the playoffs. It's just that.
All right, so you're going there. I'm also going to say, as crazy as it sounds, the Canadians, because of where they were and how far they've come, sometimes those are those gritty teams that just somehow grind some wins out. But it should be a very interesting NHL postseason. Obviously, we'll continue to watch it and talk about it as it continues. But we're going to move on right now, Ron. Great discussion to begin our show.
That was fun.
Let's talk some NFL. So draft just 5 days, a week, less than a week away. Should Travis Hunter seriously consider playing on both sides, offense and defense? Your thoughts?
Well, it's a very tough thing to do. Because the more you play in a game, the more risk you are to injury, especially if you're playing full time on both sides of the ball. You will get tired. This is not college. And these are grown men you're playing up against, and they are experienced, and you are going to take hits. And I don't think you can last playing full time on both sides. Now, with that being said, I think what they should do, play him early.
Yeah, Derek seems to think they're overrated. He's overrated. Hunt is overrated. And the reason why we talked about this tonight, Ron, is Travis Hunt has basically told teams that if you're going to draft him, that the expectation is he's going to play both ways.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree, first of all, that the play is going to dictate where we play him. As an organization, I'd be like, hold on a second. But secondly, if you're trying to master a craft in the NFL, right, become a top, hopefully all-pro player at whatever position, realistically, splitting time is not going to benefit you coming straight up. If he's 4 or 5 years in, And now you say, hey, look, he's got a good grasp of the cornerback room and he knows what's going to happen and how to work that. And then you say, hey, we're going to move him into some wide receiver. I'd be okay with that. From day one, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think any team at the top now, his draft stock may fall a little bit because of it.
Well, I don't know if it'll fall because of that. I think when you talk about he's got to play full-time offense for him to get the reps in and get better at his craft, like you said, right? Now, would I, as a coach, throw him in there once in a while on defense early in the game? Maybe. Maybe when you have a lead.
So you're drafting him as a wide receiver?
I'm drafting him as a receiver.
Okay. So 13 games with Colorado last season, 96 receptions, 1,258 yards, 15 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, outstanding numbers. 36 combined tackles, 4 interceptions on defense. Again, he did miss a couple games due to injury. And I think that's another factor to your point. The more that you have him playing and the more percentage that he's on the field, there's a greater percentage of him getting hurt.
Right.
He's too small to cover big wide receivers like DK and Brown.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's not, I don't think he's big enough to be a number one defender.
Yeah. It's too slow for Hill.
So
Tyreek Hill may not. Derek, you're right, but Tyreek Hill may not be. So there's one. I mean, he doesn't. You may not have to go against him.
Who knows where he's going to be
offensively? It's good numbers. Yeah, they forced the ball to him. Yeah, and I think again, you look at that whole system, and it worked out for both of them, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, to make sure that it obviously got him. What 5 games without a touchdown, 3 straight games. Yeah, not very good. Yeah.
Look, and frankly, I'm not sure he should be number 2 in the draft.
And that's what I'm saying. Like his stock's kind of going all over the place right now.
I like that other kid. What the hell is his name?
Carter?
The receiver.
Oh
God, I can't think of his name. He's got a weird name. I don't know where he's from, but it's certainly probably like Nigeria or something like that, or he's Polynesian or something. I think he is Polynesian, matter of fact. I wish I could find my notes. That would help.
We are going to have our live draft watch party this Thursday, starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us for that as well. As the picks are being made, we'll be talking about them. We'll obviously have some commentary as well. He is like a Champ Bailey. So again, it depends on how you're looking at it. Champ Bailey, very successful cornerback in the NFL, Kenny. I don't know if Travis Hunter is that good.
Look, I've seen Champ Bailey play. You can't compare him and say he's as good as Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey was one of the better players through history.
I will say the one benefit he had, right? Deion coaching him, one of the best cornerbacks to ever do it in the NFL. Maybe he learned something from Deion. Maybe there was a piece there. I disagree with you on, I would probably draft him as a corner because I think it's easier to move over to wide receiver than vice versa.
I don't know.
And
that's why I would balk at the whole thing because, there's cornerbacks out there that are really good. And there's receivers that are out there really good. Tetaroa, or whatever his name is, Tetaroa McMillan. Now, if I'm drafting a receiver, I'm drafting him. And I can't think of the cornerback's name that's probably going first round. But if I'm going to take a cornerback, I'm going to take him because he's bigger and he has the speed to cover.
And I like what Derek said, so because this has been discussed too. Like to me, Richard Sherman was a good cornerback. He's not horrible. He was good, but I think it was based on the system and the guys he had around him. Right, that Legion of Boom and in what those guys were able to do together. Travis Hunter, to me, if you're going to make him a cornerback, he needs to be a number 2.
Yeah, he
possibly
can't
a
be the
3.
top dog.
Give me Golden from Texas, and then the wide receiver from Ohio State.
Golden is the yes, Derek. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. 100%.
So that's where I think. Listen, this guy. We're going to be involved early with obviously the Patriots piece because they draft in 4th, and everybody kept saying he may slip to 4. I'm not sure I want him now. I'm not sure I want Travis Hunter because I'm not sure I can even decide on a position I'd want him to play.
And to be honest, the Patriots should go offensive line because you got to protect him, right? That's what they should do. It's not a sexy pick. I get it. It's not a sexy pick, but that's what they need. Or an outstanding tight end would be nice too.
Yeah, not at 4 though. I don't think there's a
No,
guy
not
worth
at 4, but
Kenny doesn't agree. Well, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I think the fact that he's trying to dictate what position that he wants to play both ways could hurt him. And I don't think he drops out of the top 5. But I don't know now at this point if he's so adamant about playing both ways that certain teams will be like, "What? That's not going to work for us."
like when you think about it, okay, like they're talking about Cleveland drafting him. Is he going to be what they need?
They need a quarterback first to throw him the ball. So if he's going to be a wide receiver, that'd be an interesting combination.
This is what I'm saying. I don't know if he fits Cleveland Browns, to be honest with you. I think he's a bust if he goes to Cleveland.
And he's not Randy Moss. He's not going to come in and just dominate. He's not, Jamar Chase, who obviously, was able to, they just come in and they're dominant. I don't think he's that good of a wide receiver.
He's got a lot to learn.
Played in a weaker conference in college, right? Derek said it. They forced him the ball to make sure his numbers look good because they wanted him to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
Because it only boosted Colorado's, school in what they were able to do now to say, and their program is basically right. They're going to retire they're both of their jerseys because he's dominated.
If Cleveland drafts him and they put him on the offense with what they have, everybody and their mother are going to get interceptions because they're going to know who they're throwing the ball to. They're going to force feed him.
That is awesome.
And then they're going to use him to cover some of the best plays. And look at those receivers in that division. You think he's going to cover Chase?
And then DK at Pittsburgh again. Yeah,
DK at Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah. All right. Great talk. Thank you all for joining live. Continue to join us in chat and let us know. But we are going to move on around to our starting 5. So we decided to have a little fun tonight with the Browns need quarterback, left tackle, linebacker. They need a lot. I don't think they can move to quarterback though, Kenny, based on what's going on there with their whole situation right now.
They're going to be fine.
Yeah, they're good. And I don't think they go quarterback yet. I don't know. You never know.
Maybe they go Shador.
So we decided to have a little fun. We're going to have some fun today with our starting 5. And our starting 5 are basically players that are in the postseason now in the NBA. Who would be our starting 5? Who do we think is the most valuable for this playoff run? So I am first this week, Ron, and I'll start us off with my honorable mentions. I have 5 of them. Kawhi Leonard is one of my honorable mentions because the Clippers have played very good basketball, but if he's healthy, and we've seen him in the postseason, could be a factor. Donovan Mitchell, honorable mention. Again, I think Cleveland, one of the best records in the league this year, has proven all year but they broke down last season as well in the postseason. Donovan Mitchell missed some games against Boston, which ultimately cost them possibly beating Boston. Donovan Mitchell, and he can turn it on. He's like the microwave. I remember Vinny Johnson. You remember back in the day with the Detroit Pistons?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously much better offensive player than Vinny Johnson ever was, but I mean, the guy can just go off with 30 points in a matter of 2 quarters. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, honorable mention. And the reason why I think he's an honorable mention is because the 5 guys I put ahead of him, I think, are so much more important. SGA, Mitchell, Leonard, Tatum, and Joker. All right, Derek, not bad. I think we're going to have a lot of them the same, honestly. Honorable mention as well for me, Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man. I feel like he has an opportunity to possibly, obviously, become the next great in the NBA, but he's got to prove it in the postseason. And then my honorable mention on the bubble, your bubble guy, as you like to do, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson for the Knicks last season basically carried that team, had like 4 40-point games in the postseason. If he can honestly go off in this series, Jalen Brunson could be a factor for the New York Knicks, at least getting to the second round.
I was a completely different.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, we might have most of the same 10, but
Okay.
they're not in the same order. There's not even close right there.
All right, let's see what you have then. Who's your honorable mentions?
My number 10.
Oh, jeez.
You have 5 as well.
Okay, for the first time ever, but it's fine. Go ahead.
I put this guy at number 10, and I can't believe when I looked at all the numbers. So I took all the numbers, and then I put all the players who first, second, third, all the way down to, my top 10 in each category, right? And then all the numbers came out the way they came out. I have Steph Curry as an honorable mention.
Wow.
He actually, by the numbers, wouldn't even be my top 10. But because it's Steph Curry, there's always that Steph Curry magic possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to put him in. So I actually bumped Donovan Mitchell. Okay. Kenny's going to hate my list, I think. I also have Cade Cunningham on my honorable mention.
I thought about it. And the reason why I didn't is because this is his first postseason.
I know.
So I am not even going to let's just see what he does.
Yep.
But go ahead.
Also, honorable mention, Karl Anthony Towns. Honorable mention. I like his numbers. 24 points, 12.8 boards. He's what, 4th?
Yeah, never that good
in
the
turnovers out of all the players that I've done.
Yeah, he stinks in the postseason.
Though. No, he had the least amount, the 4th least amount of turnovers, which is awesome for a big guy like that. Yeah,
I know he's just not clutch in the postseason. He's not clutch to me. But go ahead.
But you know what? I don't mind having him on my team.
Okay, keep going.
Coming off the bench.
All right, where you at? Number 6, 7, 6.
Honorable mention: LeBron James. Come on, I bet you thought I wasn't even going to have him on the list.
I'm shocked because he's not on mine.
Yeah, I actually have him number 7. I did all the numbers out. 5th in games played. Played 70 games this season. I'll take that. 3rd in assists. Not too shabby, right?
He's a great player.
And his field goal percentage is 4th out of all these players. So
again, you know why he's not on my list? Because there's somebody else on that team I think is much more valuable for their success with the Lakers.
Yes, and my bubble guy is Luka. And let me tell you, he's there because of injuries. I can't count on Luka. Okay. So I put him as the bubble guy.
Okay.
Because I just don't know if he's going to make it through the playoffs. I just don't know.
No, that's a good point. All right, so let's get into our starting 5. Let's see how we made out then. At 5, Ron, for me, Luka Doncic. Because to your point, I think, listen, he carried Dallas last season.
He's phenomenal.
Right. So if he can muster up enough energy to and now you got LeBron as the second guy. I went Luka Doncic at 5 because I feel like he's so valuable. If the Lakers are going to go somewhere, it's because Luka Doncic plays his rear end off.
No, you're absolutely right. When you look at those numbers, 28.2 points a game, 5th out of all the players that I looked at. 8.2 boards, 5th out of all the players. Like, this is your guy right here, right? 7.7 assists, 4th out of all the players. 1.8 steals per game, which is 2nd out of all the players that I looked at, that I said, okay, these are the contenders.
Yes.
2nd in steals. This is a guy that isn't known for defensive play. He's still 2nd best in steals. That's unbelievable. It was only about health for me with him.
No, I got
only
it.
About
So who
health.
did you have at 5?
Number 5, I had Anthony Edwards. I think when you look at those numbers, I mean, 27 points, that is just unbelievable. He doesn't turn the ball over as much. Yes, 3.2, but he's got the ball all the time. So that is pretty damn good. And when you have, 5 boards and 5 assists in a game with those points, that is tremendous. This guy can carry a team to victory, and he just may do that in round 1.
He may. All right. So at number 4, for me, Jason Tatum. I had Jason Tatum at number 4.
Me too.
Again, he's not flashy. There's not going to be this grand thing, but he's a stat filler. I think it's vital for Boston if they're gonna repeat that he may not be the number 1 guy every single night, right? Jaylen Brown and Derek White steps up a game, Porzingis, whoever it may be. But if he can get you the 20, the 8, the 7s, those type of games, I think Boston's successful.
What he did last year, Eric. He learned that he didn't have to be the guy with all the points. He got players to do that at crucial moments. And from when he was just kicking the ball around and turning it over, he has grown so much, and he's realized that he could dictate how they win. And he's done that.
Yeah. So at 3 for me, Ron, my starting 5, Steph Curry. Because here's a guy that, again, can go off of 50. You can't defend him.
Nope.
Houston, is a very good defensive team. This is going to be a very tough series for him. But again, if you're telling me with 2 seconds left in the game, I want Steph Curry shooting the ball every single time.
You're right. You're right.
So I
think he might be the most clutch player that I've seen since.
It's that guy Kenny doesn't like.
Yeah, the guy that Kenny doesn't like.
But yeah, so I went Steph Curry at 3 for me.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for that. Look, I think there's always potential for Steph magic.
Yeah.
And there's certain players that have that. And there's probably really 2 of them in the league that do it.
Yeah.
The Steph and Luka. Those are the 2 magic guys right now. Those guys just make things happen. More Steph than Luka. My number 3 is the freak. Giannis. This man just I think that he could be even better than what his numbers show. Because I think physically, nobody matches up to him. No one. And he is an opposing force on that court. I mean, 30 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, and 6.5 assists. That's filling up a stat sheet as well. And being a presence physically, nobody's going to stop him if he look, I always said this: if Shaq wants to eat, he eats. And that's the same thing with Giannis. If Giannis wants to eat, he eats. And you're not stopping him.
Agreed. That's why I put him at number 2.
That. And he's won a championship too. So
that's why I put him at number 2, because I wanted a guy that I said at any given point, there's not a player in this league that can stop him.
No.
And when he's determined and healthy.
That's why I held him to number 3.
Yeah. He is by far the biggest force in the league right now. So I went Giannis at 2, and I agree. All the things you said, Ron, and winning a championship, like we know he's done it at the big stage. So
absolutely,
I want guys that win. I want guys that have won. And Giannis is proven to be a winner. So I went Giannis at 2. I can't wait to hear your number 2, because I'm pretty sure I know.
Yeah, number 2, I went SGA. Yeah. Look, this guy is just a great basketball player.
He is. And no discredit. I put him as an honorable mention, but the reason why, because I just want to see it first. I want to see.
Yeah, you want to see him win.
Yeah.
And
something.
If there is a year, this is the year, because he just does it all. Like when those stats are just unreal. They're Michael-esque. I'm not comparing him to Michael by no means. There's only one. But 32.7 points, 5 rebounds, 6.4 assists. Everything goes through him. He is the guy that needs to be the guy. In order for OKC to ever win a championship, this guy has to be the guy that brings it to him. I mean, 1.7 steals, a block, only 2.4 turnovers per game. As much as he has the ball, look, he can hit the shot when you need it. He's not going to turn the ball over. And I just think he's one of the best, if not the best player in the league, arguably, because the guy at number 1 might have something to say about that.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling we both had that same guy.
Yeah. So at number 1 for me, Nikola Jokic. Obviously missed a triple-double. At any point, he pretty much dominates every single game. So, if we're going to do a starting 5, to me, he has to be on the team, period. There's no ands ifs. You might be able to move absolutely. 2 through 5.
Yeah.
I'm not. He's my number 1. He's my first pick.
And what he means to the team is just mind-boggling, because I'm even confident to say, all right, if I take the next 5 guys that aren't on my top 10, if I just take the next 4 guys, I got a shot at winning it against all these others, because what he can do with the vision that he has on the court is absolutely insane. And I'm gonna say this, and people might think I've lost my mind. He is the Wayne Gretzky of the NBA right now. The vision is just top notch. He sees everything. Like, he just knows where people are going and where they're going to be and what he has to do to get them the ball, or just take it himself. And he knows what he's Tom Brady, right? He's the general on that court. Like, he's that good. He's that good that he's in consideration right now as one of those at least at least minimum top 10 players of all time.
Okay. Wow. All right. All right. So that was our starting five of the postseason. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Let us know if you agree or not, or if there was somebody we might have missed. But we're going to continue this NBA talk, Ron. And this is it's almost like deja vu all over again. Who do we blame for the Phoenix Suns failure? So obviously the Phoenix Suns have fired Mike Budenholzer. This is their third straight year with three straight firings. Ultimately, who's to blame for the Suns and their failures?
General manager and players.
Okay. I'm
They're
going Matt Ishba.
uncoachable.
Matt
They're
Ishba.
they're uncoachable.
Matt Ishba, the owner, though, he's allowing.
Well, yeah, of course.
He's allowing a player to run his organization.
Yes. Yeah.
Kevin Durant basically makes every decision that the Phoenix Suns decide to do.
Like, did they not pay attention to what happened in Brooklyn?
Not at all, obviously, because again, when we think about what they gave up, so Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 unprotected first-round draft picks for Kevin Durant. At some point in that whole process, they probably should have slowed down and said, hey, you know what? He fired a coach there. Steve Nash came in. That didn't work, right? Between Kyrie and the bearded one, James Harden, that didn't work. You know what we'll do? We'll do the same thing here. We'll get Bradley Beal. We'll get Booker. Or we have Booker, right? We'll get Durant. And then we'll hire a coach he wants. Oh, wait, that didn't work. All right, we'll hire the second coach he wants. That didn't work. You know what we'll do? The third guy who's won a championship. So did Frank Vogel, right? Like these guys won championships. We'll get a championship coach in here. That didn't work. And now they're talking about looking at exploring trades for Kevin Durant this offseason, which is great, except you're never getting back what you gave up for him in the first place.
No.
To win nothing. You won nothing.
Yeah. And you know, at some point, a player needs to be selfless. And clearly, those players on that team are not.
Not at all.
They want the ball. They all want the ball, and you have to make sacrifices. And again, I go back to Tatum. Tatum figured out what he needed to do. He needed to pump up the ego for Brown, right? Needed to get that ego up there. So, you know, hey, I can take a back seat to Brown as long as I can win the championship by making these other players even better.
Yeah.
KD has so much talent that he should be able to do this and still get his. But he doesn't.
So,
and that's a big problem.
I guess, I mean, obviously we're gonna look at Kevin Durant as the bad seed in this whole thing, right? But I will ask you this from a legacy standpoint, and you said it. He's a great player. Like Kevin Durant is not a slouch. This isn't a guy you sit back and say. But how many teams now are going to be willing to actually put him on their roster? Seeing what the last, 5 years have been. Like, it has not been good. And even if you want to say it's not all Kevin Durant, it's ownership, the general manager, maybe it was the coaching style or the coaches themselves, whatever. Bradley Beal.
I'm sorry, it can't be the coaches.
Okay, but you could blame Beal, Booker, whoever. You could say it's a combination of everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm Orlando Magic, who are probably a good enough team where you put a Kevin Durant, maybe a contender for finals. If I'd want to even explore it because of what I've seen happen over the last 4 or 5 years.
It will only work under one condition. Kevin Durant needs another alpha.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I worked in Golden State, because he wasn't
That's
the
only
top
reason,
guy.
because you were not taking over the team from Steph Curry. You're not doing it. It's just not happening. So it has to be somebody of that magnitude. And I don't know if there's a player, and I'm going to say this,
I
don't want to.
Go ahead.
The only player that would not be overtaken would be LeBron.
I don't want him in LA. I was thinking Denver.
I'm not saying I want him there.
I was thinking Denver.
I'm just saying, in this league right now, outside of Steph Curry, the only alpha that he's not going to overstep on is LeBron James. That's the only guy.
See, I did Denver, Jokic. Jokic just got his coach fired with 3 games left in the regular season. Like, Jokic runs that team, runs that organization. Kevin Durant comes in.
Well, so Joker.
Right, something like that. Because even LeBron's taking a step back to Luka, if you really look at it. So
yeah, I don't know about that one, but
yeah, I mean, it's debatable. But does he get traded, Ron? And if so,
they're not getting back what they gave up. Let's put it that way. And look, if he's going to get traded, he's going to get traded somewhere that they're hoping. I could see maybe somewhere like a Chicago. But what are they going to give up to get him?
What do you think, Kenny? So obviously Kevin Durant, I mean, it's got to be the problem, but I don't know. I don't think anybody takes him. I think they're stuck. And Bradley Beal already said he's not going to go. Like, they tried trading him. He refused because he's got no trade clauses. And you're not getting rid of Booker. So I don't care what coach you bring in there now.
That's the one guy I would keep out of all of them.
And who goes? What do you
want to go?
Right, next coach has to be Mike Malone, because he won a championship. That seems that Vogel wins a championship, they get him. Budenholzer wins a championship, they got it. It's got to be Mike Malone. Mike Malone's going to Phoenix.
Probably is. No, you're probably right. That's probably the next guy.
And then he's got a 1-year gig. He'll make $60 million. I think they still owe Budenholzer like $50 million after this. Like, they're paying for coaches now that it's going to be over $100 million in coaches that they're paying for.
Think about this.
Million.
They were so close to winning championships until they got Kevin Durant. They were the number 1 seed the year before.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
All right. Let's talk some Major League Baseball, Ron. Good luck, Phoenix. Colorado Rockies fired their hitting coach. Will it matter? Will this actually matter? So Hensley Mullins was fired by the Colorado Rockies and now being replaced by former manager Clint Hurdle. Hurdle was their manager from 2002 to 2009 and led the team to the World Series, losing to the Red Sox.
And they sit in last place, I'm guessing.
They are in last place.
Yeah. I don't see them climbing over the Dodgers.
Yeah, they're not getting the West.
See them,
San Diego,
I don't
the
see them climbing
Padres.
over San Francisco or even Arizona. So no, it does not matter.
You know the funny thing here, and I'm not. Listen, everybody does a job, and sometimes we do a job well, we don't. So right now they lead the league, or they're second in the league in strikeouts, second fewest home runs with 12. There's guys that have like 9 home runs already. Those guys almost have more home runs than they do. They last year batted .242, which was the worst in franchise history. Guess who their hitting coach was? Hensley Mullins. Why would you have brought him back again? Like, what were you thinking the results were going to be? Like this is not a 5-minute window and you were like, we didn't know. Like, he's been bad for the last 2 years for this team.
Yeah.
And you brought him back, which blew my mind, because at the end of it, I was like, oh, wow, this is a pretty bad deal for him. Like, they're only, 20-something games in. They didn't even give him a shot. They gave him a 2-year run at this thing. Like, he shouldn't even been back.
Why isn't somebody saying, hey, you know what? Maybe our batting average is so bad. Maybe why don't we just make a call to Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, somebody like that, and get a guy that actually knows how to hit.
Tony Gwynn, like somebody, like, holy Toledo, man.
There's a lot of guys that are available that aren't working anywhere that know how to hit. Why not bring in a guy like Kenny Lofton?
Something's got to change. But you brought him back 2 years in a row.
Right.
Like, you saw the results last year. You had the lowest batting average in your team's history last year. You know what we'll do? Let's run it back. Let's just run it back.
Oh, it's not broken.
No, not at all. Run it back. Run it back. I don't
know.
Good luck.
It's one of those franchises that just can't get it together.
Look at this. Put the West Coast there, Colorado, Phoenix, like they were a mess. These teams are a mess. All right, Ron, let's move on. Good luck.
Well, the Coyotes were.
They used to be there.
Yeah, they're still a mess.
They play better in Utah.
Yeah, they do play better in Utah.
And they're still in the West. All right, Ron, it's time for split decisions.
Too much. Come on, Kenny. Where's your voice?
Our split decision segment, basically, we ask each other a more likely question, and we have to make a decision based off of that. I am first this week, Ron. So my first split decision is, which, Ron, is more likely to repeat itself this postseason in the NBA? Jalen Brunson averaging over 32.4 points per game, or LeBron James leading in assists with 8.8 last year? Who's more likely to do what they did last postseason?
I'm going to say LeBron James.
And 8.8 rebound assists, huh? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think Brunson can do that again with the East as it stands right now, because the East did get better. It did get better.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's going to do that against like Cleveland, against Milwaukee, against oh my God, Orlando, not Orlando, in
Detroit, Orlando. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where your head is today. Steffi, thanks for joining. Maria, thanks for joining.
Indiana. I can't remember the team I was going to refer to, but yeah, it's just not. I don't think that's.
Who else happen. The Knicks have though? Jalen Brunson.
Oh, you're Mr. Robotics. I didn't catch what you said.
Hold on, I'm trying to read.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Oh, and he bailed. Let's see if he can get back into this.
Am I back in it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I lost connection for a second. Jalen Brunson's the only guy I said on the Knicks, though. He's going to score 40 points.
No, he's got some help there. He's got
Carl
the big
Anthony
cat.
Towns, who doesn't step up in the postseason. I watch. Thumbs up there, Maria. Thank you. All right, Ron, your first split decision.
My first one. Let me see. What did we talk about? All right. Well, what team is more likely to draft Shedeur Sanders? New Orleans, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants, or the New York Jets? I should throw Cleveland in there because you never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Jets, no way. I think they're gonna ride this Fields thing and see if this kid can do it. So the Jets are out. The Pittsburgh Steelers, honestly, I think they're going to fold. They're going to basically bend over a barrel and take the Aaron Rodgers show. That's the only way I can say it, because the guy even doesn't even know if he wants to play football, but I'm sure they're going to be desperate enough to say, okay, we'll take you. So Pittsburgh, I don't think it's going to happen. New Orleans is interesting. That means what, 9th overall? So again, would a team trade up at that point to maybe try to sneak in before the Saints would get him? But I am really considering the New York Giants it's gained so much traction that I could see it happening. Like I could see him in New York. That Eli Manning, the last name being a destination for him. So I would go the Giants before. I'd probably say Giants and New Orleans would be the two.
But which one?
He's going to Giants. I think he'd go to the Giants.
All right. So you're saying the Giants?
Yes. That would be my pick.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
Hey, if something crazy could happen, and who knows, maybe Dallas.
Nah.
You never
know. I don't know. They just got a quarterback from New England. It's good. We got Joe Milton, baby. Joe Milton. All right. My second split decision. Is it more likely Tyler Soderstrom of the A's leads the league in home runs, which he currently does with 9, finishes in the top 10 in home runs, or finishes lower than top 10 in home runs?
Lower.
Wow, you're not even
He's not going to make the top 10.
Come on.
He's not making the top 10.
Kid's on
He's
fire.
got 9.
He's got 9.
I don't care if he's on fire.
Leads the league.
And where does he play?
Oh, well, I don't even know. Where do they play now? They're not in Oakland.
I don't know.
Where are the A's? Where are the A's?
They're the United States A's. That's where they play.
All right.
Are they in Mexico Vegas or something?
No, they're somewhere in California. I don't know where they're. All right. I was going to say give the kid some love, but all right. No love for the kid.
Because eventually they're just not going to pitch to him.
All right. Your second split decision.
In the lineup. Nobody. He's not getting anything.
Okay.
I give the A's all D's. And I won't say D's what.
Hey, come on. We're a family show.
D's what's?
Oh, they're in San Francisco.
They're playing in San Francisco? Really?
Right.
So they're the San Francisco A's? Oh, that's just terrible. I can't believe San Francisco.
Are they in San Francisco? What did they do with the Giants? They play in the same.
I thought it was Sacramento.
I thought it was too. I think it is Sacramento. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. It
probably is. Why are we listening to him?
Because he's always wrong. Come on.
Remember him giving us the bad news breaks?
Oh, that was great. That was awesome.
We love you, Kenny.
Are
you looking?
They're in Sacramento.
See, I knew it couldn't be San Francisco. There's no way in hell that they would say, "Oh yeah, you can play over here,
right with the Giants,
bridge and play here."
They got the Yankees were visitors against Tampa Bay now because they're playing in Steinbrenner Field in Florida. This is awesome. Like, I don't know. The world's going mad, my friend, mad. All right, your second split decision, Ron.
All right, this is a good one. Who is more likely to have more points in the Dallas-Colorado series? Just in the series. Mikko Rantanen, Martin Necas, or Charlie Coyle?
Ooh. I should just say Coyle just to piss you off. I don't know. Coyle's been playing really well for them.
I know.
So it could actually be Coyle again. And because I think be more focused on Rantanen defensively. And Nikas is a very good player, but I'm going Coyle. Because I think Coyle has figured it out there in Colorado.
So let me give you their playoff point totals. You're going to find this very interesting. Martin Necas, 11 goals, 9 assists in 59 playoff games.
No good. No bueno, my friend. No bueno.
Charlie Coyle, and I remember when he first came to Boston, he was a menace in the playoffs. He was so good. 25 goals, 27 assists in 119 games. Not bad for your third center.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mikko Rantanen, 34 goals, 67 assists in 81 games.
Ooh. All right.
Wow. That's good.
I'm still going Coyle.
And I don't blame you. In that series, Coyle is going to be big. He's important. If he doesn't play well, Colorado's losing.
All right. Let's continue this NHL talk, my friend. Which players returned from injury is going to have a bigger impact in the postseason here? Tyler Seguin or Brady Tkachuk?
All right, so this is an interesting one. I'm actually glad you did this for the topic because you're looking at the careers that are just totally different right now. Short term, Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk, short term, is going to be big.
But we're talking this postseason, not right? Okay.
No, short term in this
Gotcha.
postseason.
Yeah.
Like immediate series.
Yeah.
Postseason.
Yeah.
Brady Tkachuk is going to have a better opening series. The problem is he's got a gauntlet to go through to get far.
Mm-hmm. That's what
and
I was
that's
saying.
why Tyler Seguin is going to be the guy that really makes an impact, and it's going to come later because I think Dallas gets by Colorado.
Ooh.
And
okay.
His scoring ability will become more and more crucial as the postseason goes on. So therefore, Tyler Seguin will be more of an impact.
We actually agree on this. Tyler Seguin, and you think about it, I was thinking about this. The series that they're in now, Colorado, he's going to need to be a factor for them to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think Ottawa gets by the Maple Leafs. I think they actually get out of the first round. So to me, Tkachuk's return is beneficial for the team because obviously he's a very good player. But I don't think it's enough to get him over the top. I think Seguin offensively, because they're going to need points, will be a bigger impact with the Dallas Stars. So, no, I thought it was a fun one because, again, both of these guys, Seguin missed a lot of time. He only played 20 games.
Yeah.
And it was a hip surgery. So, whereas Tkachuk, I think it was like 8 or 9 games.
And he's usually pretty durable as well. So, I don't think that he re-injures himself. I think he's going to get through the playoffs. I think he's a big factor. He'll get some power play time, of course. And he's probably going to be playing on the second line. Although it would be pretty awesome. I can't wait to watch the series, to be honest with you, because I want to see exactly where they play Tyler Seguin in this. And Tyler Seguin's got scoring ability. He's a dynamic offensive player, and he can also play some defense.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
He learned that.
It's going to be fun. A lot of NHL talk today. We had some fun with the NHL today.
Absolutely.
All right, Ron, it is time for Pick and Roll.
It's time for Pick
See, that's Kenny.
Roll.
Might be. Episode 16 of season 5, the Rocky Road. So we are going with
you like
NBA
that 16
players.
there?
Look at that. That is sharp. NBA players that wore number 16, and those players were Paul Gasol, Cliff Hagan, Bob Lanier, Tom Sanders, and Peja Stojakovic. I am first this week, so I will start us off at number 5. I had Tom Sanders, and this is crazy to think about.
Was he a Colonel?
Satch was his nickname.
So it wasn't the Colonel?
Wasn't the Colonel. And I was saying, right, like his points, it doesn't sound great. 9.6 points, 6.3 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1 all defensive, but he won 8 championships, Ron. 8.
Yeah. I
really felt bad because I said 8 championships. You think he might have got a notch up, but I mean,
he
no
was
double
the
digits.
shoelaces for you know who's Bill Russell's sneakers.
Right? So it's just crazy. Crazy. But 8 championships, so lucky him. Yeah. At 4th, Peja Stojakovic. I loved him too. Peja was a good player. 17 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, a 3-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA, 1-time champion. Just a solid player, good player. At 3, I had Cliff Hagan, 17.7 points, 6.6 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 6-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, a 1-time champion. At 2, Paul Gasol, 17 points, 9.2 rebounds, 3.2 assists. Very good career. You don't realize how good he was. 6-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, and a 2-time champion. And even though this man didn't win a championship, I went Bob Lanier at number 1 with 20.1 points, 10.1 rebounds. You know how we are with these double-double guys. That it always stands out to me. 3.1 assists, 8-time All-Star, and an All-Rookie. So Bob Lanier was my number 1 of players that won number 16.
Very good. Very good. All right. My number 5 was Tom Sanders as well. I mean,
22 shoe, Kenny.
Look, Bill Russell was the guy. And yes, I understand he won 8 championships. But still I couldn't put him any higher than at the bottom. You know, I'm not saying he wasn't a good player.
Yeah.
He was certainly one of the role players on that team that made them win, right?
And you know, every great championship team has some kind of role player, somebody that does something. So,
and that's what he is. He's a role player, and I could not put him higher than.
He's probably the Robert Ory of that generation. Like he just did those things to help him.
Perfect analogy right there. He's that Robert Ory, right? That's perfect. All right, number 4, I also had Stojakovic. Look, that's a nice career.
It was.
Like 3-time All-Star, 1 All-NBA. He won a championship. I mean, 17 points. I mean, that's a good solid player right there. Good solid player. Number 3, I also went Cliff Hagan.
Okay.
17.7 points, 6.6 boards, 3.2 assists, 6-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and a championship. Great numbers. And it's weird how it came down to these last 2 guys for me. Not surprisingly, because they deserve to be the top 2 guys. Cliff Hagan, though, was a little closer than, you know?
Yeah, no, listen.
So
2 All-NBAs versus 4 for Gasol. That's what we put him over.
This was tough for me because do I feel like Bob Lanier is a better player? I believe he is. All-around player, I think so. But.
Oh, that's a but.
But he didn't win a championship.
Yeah, I agreed.
And I look at that number, and I look at the All-NBA. Pau Gasol had 4 All-NBAs, so he was a 4-time better player than anybody at his position. Bob Lanier did not win any of those.
Did they have All-NBA back then?
I don't know. That's the thing. Did they have it back then? If they did, this is why this is a stipulation here. If they did have it back then Pau Gasol gets number 1. If they didn't have it back then I have Bob Lanier as
they must have 71 to 84. I would think
I'm
so.
guessing they did.
Yeah, I would think so too.
So that is the difference to me. You got to be able to be the best player at your position.
1946.
Yeah.
Whew.
So
Yeah, it was around. It was
yeah.
a thing.
So that is why I go with Pau Gasol.
Yeah, no, I see it. But I would say the double. Guys that average a double for their career, to
exactly.
me,
That's why it was so tough.
Because you don't see it that often. Because Gasol was close, but did not. All right, that was our pick and roll. Hope you enjoyed that.
That was a good one, actually.
Looks like Kenny enjoyed it. Kenny definitely. OMG, Ron.
How is?
I don't know. He didn't feel it. He didn't feel it.
It's the same thing as yours, except I just have Pau Gasol.
Yeah, you just flip flop
a notch because of those All NBAs.
But that's because he's a Laker, and Kenny will never. He can't.
Oh.
Although he loves LeBron, he thinks LeBron's better than Jordan. So, Ron, before we get into our predictions,
credibility gone.
Before we get into our predictions, let's first off welcome our newest members to the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. One, Mr. Mike Tyson, heavyweight champion of the world, former heavyweight champion of the world. And one, Mr. former Laker himself, Shaquille O'Neal. So Shaq and Mike Tyson have joined the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Thank you all for voting for those athletes. And they will be inducted into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Check out the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame website so you can see all of their accolades and why they're in. But with that, Ron, means we're on to some new voting.
Yeah,
and the polls
graphics though.
And the polls are up currently. So if you could bring up clap, I guess. Yes, congratulations. Clap. We are going to NHL, and our NHL Hall of Fame nominees are Jaromir Jagr, Teemu Selanne, Theo Fleury, Mark Recchi, and Pavel Bure.
It's a tough one.
That is a very tough one. As well as for Major League Baseball, Ron, Jack Morris, Roger Clemens, Fernando Valenzuela, Nolan Ryan, and Earl Hershiser.
That's a tough one, too.
That is a very good one. The polls are up, so join the Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page and cast your vote to help induct one of these nominees into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, which continues to grow. Voted on by the fans, for the fans. There's no other reasons why they get in other than you. You help get these athletes in. So continue to vote. Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page on Facebook. All right, Ron. Let's talk some predictions.
I don't want to.
Last week, not a bad week for me, my friend. 8-1. Kyle Larson, thank you for winning your race as well. So I got double points on that. The only thing I lost on was that UFL, man. But if you are joining us live, please.
Wait, what was that?
Please give us your picks as we go through these games. So we've got a lot of playoff basketball and hockey to pick from. And I am first, so I'll start us off with the game tonight.
Off this week, right?
Yeah, no NASCAR this week. Play-in game, Ron. One of these teams is getting in. There's a game going on right now as well. But the Dallas Mavericks at the Memphis Grizzlies. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going Dallas here and Anthony Davis. Ja Morant thinks a game time decision, may not play for Memphis with an ankle injury. And even if he's able to go, how effective will he be? So I went Dallas here.
You know what? I think Dallas is going to win this, even if Morant was to play and if he was healthy, because I don't think they've played well at all. They've like backpedaled from
another
like
team that fired
place.
their coach.
It's like they're terrible. They're terrible. So I went Dallas.
All right. Kenny went Dallas as well. All right. Tomorrow, you got the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Los Angeles Lakers. Ron, game 1. Who do you have?
I'm going to go Minnesota.
I went LA here. I went the Lakers at home. I really feel like Luka, first game as a Laker in the postseason, he's going to want to put on a show, and I'm going LA. Going LA. Kenny, who do you have? It's going Timberwolves.
Oh boy.
On April,
I would have felt much better
if he went Lakers. April 20th, you got the Golden State Warriors at the Houston Rockets. Again, this is game 1. I think that play-in game hurts Golden State a little bit. It's an extra game. Not saying they lose the series, but I think Houston at home, game 1, they're going to come out intense, and I think they win game 1.
I think they do as well. I think it's going to be a reflection game in game 2. And I definitely think that Houston gets this first one.
Kenny's going Golden State. All right, we got some NHL playoffs. April 19th, the Colorado Avalanche at the Dallas Stars. It's your pick, isn't it? Yeah, you're first.
I'm going Dallas in game 1.
I went Dallas in game 1 as well at home. And I like the goaltending. I don't know why always Ottinger sticks out to me, but he was so good in the postseason and never gets goal support. So hopefully he gets it. Dallas.
Going to this year, he's got Rantanen now.
Kenny went Dallas as well. Also on the 19th round, you got the St. Louis Blues at the Winnipeg Jets. I'm going with the jinx. I'm going with the President's Cup. I'm going with the fact that Winnipeg has not performed well in the postseason, and the Blues are playing some great hockey. So I went St. Louis here.
I'm going Winnipeg. I think this is the year they move on to round 2, and it's going to be a hell of a series. It's all about the goaltending.
It is. Agreed. I get it. It just Blues
I just don't think
Jets.
Blues have enough.
They probably don't, but I also think they've overperformed based on coaching.
Let's not forget that they lost in the playoffs with Jim Montgomery having the best team in the league.
Yeah, agreed. Kenny may not be. All right. April 21st, Ron. Game 1. The hockey's all over the place, man. Throwing me off. April 21st, game 1, Edmonton Oilers at the Los Angeles Kings.
I'm going to say the Kings are going to win game 1.
You scared me with all those injuries, but I went Edmonton here because I just think they're gonna. Oh, Kenny went Blues. I went Edmonton just because I think Edmonton's in their head right now until they prove different. Otherwise, I think Edmonton has it. Kenny went Kings. All right, 3-game series. NL East starts this Monday. Philadelphia Phillies at the New York Mets.
Is that first place Mets?
Yes, they are. Second place Phillies. So I'm going New York here. I think the Mets have figured it out.
Yeah, I'm going the Mets as well. They'll probably win the series 2-1 in this series. And they're going to be at home. Yeah. So, they have some momentum. They're 3-0 against teams that are 500 or better.
Get you breaking out the stats. All right, buddy. Little insight there. Kenny went Mets as well. Major League Soccer as well tomorrow.
Before you go on to this next one, do you know that I watched a baseball game that wasn't even Red Sox?
Wow. They've changed you now because it's what, like 2.5, 3 hour games?
Yeah, I
You're
can
just,
actually sit through it.
right? Like it's not too bad.
As long as I'm doing something else while I'm watching.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I hear you. I hear you. All right, Major League Soccer action. Inter Miami Football Club at Columbus Crew. Who do you have?
Does some certain good player still playing for Miami?
He's still there. I don't
Okay,
know
I'm
if
going to
he's
go
playing.
Miami.
All right. Best record, undefeated Columbus Crew. I'm going with the Crew to win this one. Miami's like fourth.
Yeah, but they'll win now.
We're in fourth. Kenny, who do you have? Kenny's a big soccer guy, I think. He makes us call it football.
Football.
Football. That's Kenny. Kenny, how many shots in are you, buddy? How many shots in?
He went with the Crew.
He went with the Crew.
Good. I like that he went with your team.
Yeah, well, we both got a combo on that thing. All right, so I want to thank a few people. First off, SEC TV, Public Access Channel 12, for putting us on every Tuesday night at 10 p.m., as well as WBOB 990 AM in Providence, Rhode Island, and WDJY 99.1 FM in Dallas, Georgia. Thank you for your support there as well. Ron, we also need to tell everybody out there how they can become a sponsor of this amazing show and be able to get their name on our banners and their ads read to them. So I'd love to let you explain that.
Okay. So it's very simple. All you have to do to sponsor the show is send us an email. And why? Because we will read your ad and it will be shown right here. We'll read the ad. So not only will people see it, but it will be heard on the audio version for Spotify, Amazon, Red Circle, and many more. So send us that email at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information. But Eric, it's like I say every week. It's just like going to your local coffee shop and buying a nice iced coffee for summertime, because it feels like summer out there today. It was beautiful.
New England, yes.
And getting a nice double chocolate donut. You know, the chocolate donut with the chocolate frosting on it? Oh, love it, love it, love it. Just like that. It costs less than that. So please get on this. Look, your banner will be red like we just did it. But we have room down here and we have room up here. Like right in that corner right up there, could go right there. How nice would that be? And you're supporting the show. And I mean, we have the best show. So
the best sports podcast on the planet.
Right.
So, Ron, we are on to our final thoughts, and our final thoughts don't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It could be about anything happening in the world today. I am first this week, so I will give you my final thought. Only one today, buddy.
Hopefully it's not mine.
Greg Popovich is out of the hospital after a medical emergency. The longtime Spurs coach had a mild stroke in November, missed the entire rest of the regular season at 76, right? We're really hoping that if he wants to continue to coach, he has that opportunity. But first and foremost, get well, Popovich, Pop. Because he was such a interesting, he was the Bill Belichick of the NBA. He always had that. And it's, to see him have to go out this way would be kind of sad. I'd like to see him go out on his own terms. So I'm hoping he's well. I hope that whatever's going on, he's going to be okay and be able to continue if he'd like to coaching the San Antonio Spurs in the future. But good luck, Greg, Mr. Popovich. We hope you get better.
Very nice. Yes, absolutely. Look, my final thought goes out to, well, first off, I want to thank the Boston Bruins for such a great season that we had this
Bro,
year.
you got to let it go. That's twice. Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
I know, but I can't let it go. I'm not like Frozen. Not like
All
that.
right. All right.
Can't let it.
Let it go. Let it go.
Thank you. But look, I hope you get your act together this year, this off season, and don't be cheap. If you guys are cheap this year, I'm gonna know it, and you're gonna lose a longtime fan, But my actual final thought goes out to Marc-Andre Fleury. He's going to retire at the end of the season, and I don't think he's going to be around after the first series. But look, he had a great career. He's one of the best of this generation for sure. Probably top 10 all time. And he's had a great career. He's performed very well for a long period of time, and I thank him for me being able to watch him play. I think that is about as best as anybody can expect of a player that you're not rooting for. And I got to give Ovi credit. When he knew he was playing him for the last time, he called back all his players from the locker room to come back out and shake hands with Marc-Andre Fleury.
Wow,
And that
awesome.
was a class act. And,
Absolutely.
Marc-Andre Fleury will be missed in the league. And hopefully you go on to bigger and better things.
Well said, Ron. I do want to mention this Thursday, very special NFL Draft Watch Party. We will be on at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before the draft kicks off, and we'll break down all 32 picks. Looking forward to that. Kenny will be joining us as well, so we're excited to have Kenny back on Sports Unfolded for that. So tune in, mark it on your calendar. It's always a good time.
All we need is Danny back.
Fun. We have some fun. We do. We need Danny back. We miss Danny as well. We miss everybody. James not on tonight. We miss James tonight. Hugo, Mickey, all of our usual. But again, if you enjoy this show, please like, share, follow, and let everyone know how great it is. Watch us live every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can join in and have some fun with us as well. Ron, it's been a pleasure tonight. I appreciate all you've done to get us through a difficult day today with some graphics and things, and you managed through it, so thank you. Get on that Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page. It is now open for the next nominees for the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame as well, and we will see you next Thursday. I'm a little thrown off. We'll see you Thursday night at 7:45 p.m. for our NFL Draft Watch Party. Ron, you take care. Everyone out there that joined us live today, Kenny, you've been amazing. Derek, thank you for the support.
Yeah, he was great.
Derek
did some great
Derek
comments.
has his own podcast as well. I've kind of been talking to him a little bit. He's pretty cool. We will see you again Thursday and then Friday at 6 p.m. And all we ever ask for is from every single show is that we get peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody. Take care.